The problem is probably fans of your dad are working every day and have more important things to do with their lives than to go to other people's rallies that they apparently don't like.
It's a great, yeah. Well, I mean, if a Trump supporter did that, it would be World War III. I mean, everyone's head would explode if they did the same thing. But if they do it to us, it's okay.
They blame us for violence.
Double standard is disgusting.
They blame us for violence. I'm getting letters in my house, and all of us are getting letters and this and that, and death threats and envelopes full of powder and everything else. They blame us for, and then they go disrupt, rallies. They shut down major highways in Arizona. I mean, it's really very, very sad what's happening.
Well, that's a point that, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about, but you brought it up. I mean, I've experienced this in my career where I've gotten letters full of white powder, and I remember my assistant at the time, Elise, was literally quarantined for 8 or 9 hours as they had to test every single solitary thing that came into the office that day, and that's why I don't even receive mail anymore. I mean, that's got to be pretty terrifying for your family, Eric.
Listen, there's no question about it. I mean, there's no question about it. It might come with the territory, but you don't see that happening on the other side. I mean, you don't see the families on the other side, having this stuff happen. You don't see Republicans shutting down major highways. You don't see people with Trump signs going in and protesting Bernie or Hillary rallies. You just don't see that. I mean, the people are actually very, very well behaved. On our end, I mean, does a rowdy fan get out of control once in a while? Sure, but that's been happening in crowds of 30 and 40,000 people. But you just don't see it going the opposite way, and then they say that we're spewing violence. It is disgusting what's happening, and it's the media that's doing it, and it's just very, very sad. It is the leftist media that's really,
Well, I think there's even something as bad as that is. I think one of the worst things is this coordinated effort to stop the only two people that mathematically have a chance of winning the nomination. Now, your dad has the most delegates by a pretty significant lead, 680 to, I think it's, 424 for Ted Cruz, or 474, I forget the exact number. And here, there is an effort now to get this to the convention floor. John Kasich is convinced that they'll give it to him. He's won one state out of 32 contests, for crying out loud.
And by the way, Cruz would have to win 90% of the remaining delegates in order to get to the 1237 number, which, going to New York and his famous line of New York values is not going to happen. He's not going to win New York. He's not going to win New Jersey. He's not going to win Connecticut. He's not going to win Pennsylvania, quite frankly. I mean, he's he's not going to win California. So
lately, I think his appeal is largely over after today, Sean. I mean, where he had a good advantage in caucus states, or where he was, sort of playing to the evangelicals and stuff like that. Frankly, he didn't even do that well there. But I mean, after today, that's probably largely over for him anyway. So,
and the scary thing,
people have to get realistic.
Don, the scary thing is, the primary states, closed primary states, right? Closed states aren't indicative of a general election. I mean, they're just not indicative of a general election. That you're not going to have the crossover over voters come and vote for Cruz. He's been winning. These very, very small caucus states, where you have these closed primaries and you have a very small group of voters that are going out, that's not indicative of a general election. And
and that's not really spoken about in the media either. I mean, that's fact. I'd love to disagree with Eric because he's my brother, but he happens to be right. I mean, it would be great to have a good brother crawl, but he's 100% right. And no one talks about that either. I mean, it's
Let me ask you both
playing a political game, catering to a certain subset of the country, but that's not going to do anything in a general election. I mean, Cruz in a general, to me, is about as unappealing as I can imagine. I mean, I'd have a hard time voting for him. I'm pretty conservative.
Let me ask you both this question. I asked Don this question once, Eric. I said, all right, so give me a memory of your father getting pissed off at you and what kind of guy he was when you were growing up. Now, apparently your dad came home tired one night and asked Don Jr. for a Diet Coke, and Don wasn't so willing to get it, and that's a memory that's been etched in his mind and heart and solar plexus ever since. But
I believe my response, Sean, was, I'm not your something mate. And, it went over like a lead balloon.
Sure, Sean, I was a good son. I just blamed Don.
Listen to this. What a stuck-up. Oh, come on.
You believe this crap, Sean? This is
no, I don't believe this for a minute. Come on.
He got the beating. Don got the beating.
You don't have any memory of getting in trouble with your father?
No, I certainly have memories of getting in trouble with my father. I mean,
that's what we're asking for. Don shared his experience. What's yours? I bet Ivanka never got in trouble. Come on.
Oh God, I broke a hairbrush of Ivanka's once, and that just my father was livid. Like I think I did it on purpose. I was 7 years old. Ivanka was effectively a cat fight. It was she was 2 years older. She was probably stronger at that point.
How about when you broke the chandelier and blamed it on me?
Ivanka broke the chandelier.
How about that one?
No,
this is too funny. What is this like? What has this been like for both of you? Is it a little surreal? Is it something you ever expected? Is it everything you expected? Is it worse than you ever thought? Don?
Well, listen, I mean, it's awesome and amazing in a certain, perspective. I mean, just seeing the people who are so vested, they're so emotional, they just want to see some change. They're sick of politics as usual. I mean, there's a real emotional component to this that people are coming up to me, and that's incredible to see. The corollary of that is, I posted a picture with my daughter last weekend hiking, and I have people commenting, I hope she gets cancer and dies. Your child looks like they have Down syndrome. I mean, stuff I could never say to any human being. My worst enemy, I couldn't even imagine saying that kind of stuff to him. I mean, so it's really bringing out some truly sick individuals, and I think it's because they realize if my father gets in there, their little game of all their little nonsense is over. And I think I see that from both sides, frankly, from the right and from the left. I mean, I think the right would rather see my father lose, let Hillary be in there, because it would still be business as usual for them, because they're not actually ever held accountable to anything. They get their cush jobs, they get their, fluffy little vacations. Everyone works for each other in this own little incestuous world that is Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's why the country's going down the tubes.
Expose all that, and it would end it.
All right. Listen, both of you, Eric and Donald Trump Jr., thank you both for being with us. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Sean, take care.
800-941-SEAN, our toll-free telephone number. Hey, Mark, you